OG versus Team Spirit. Game 2.
Hello and welcome. The draft panel is back. They took my big table away, but they gave me two wonderful analysts to compensate. My name's Amo Plus. I'm here with Lacoste and Effie. How are you guys doing? You like that first game, Effie?
That was a great game.
So you told me earlier that you actually were not one of the analysts that was siding with the OG's draft. Can you explain a bit why?
Yeah, I didn't really get much chance to talk about it, but
Now you do.
yeah. So Team Spirit were one of the teams actually playing this Magnus method of just horn toss skewer as an initiation only, and like getting Aether Lens and things like that months ago, right? So it's something that they're super comfortable with, and I believed in it. I didn't quite think that the game would turn the way it did because of certain skewers, but I was very fond of them just for that, right?
I thought coming into this second game, they will address the Magnus issue that they had, but they will go with the same bans. Collapse Mars, collapse Tidehunter, maybe. Let's see if they just first phase this hero. I would not be surprised if they get it for Team Spirit one more time.
Yeah, what do you think they're planning on doing against this Magnus? What would be the traditional Magnus counters we could see here?
I don't know what the counter is to horn toss, as you said, because it's like an instant hook almost that puts you in a tough spot. What they did at the Tier 3 tower when they were defending the base, going for that double skewer, that was just insane. This might be the best Magnus performance I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, not necessarily the 4 or 5 man RPs, it's just his play, his understanding what needs to be done is what won them the game. Just the timing, the itemization, where he needs to be on the map. Everything was 10 out of 10.
He played incredibly well throughout this tournament. He's always been one of the standout players on Spirit, but my goodness, did he step it up.
Yeah.
I really have to say. So Magnus counters
There we go.
traditionally, I think there's no reason to never not first phase this hero if it's in the pool, especially after the past couple of days and what we've seen the hero is capable of. But I guess traditionally the way to quote unquote counter it would be to just not to pressure it in lane and to just respect the skewer. Understand that if you're in base versus Magnus, respect the skewer potential, right? And I think OG have the same approach. They're just going to be a bit more mindful of this hero.
Throughout the Dota history, sieging the high ground was always the hardest part. If you don't have enough tower damage, there's always going to be these repositioning abilities have been high valued lately. The toss, the spear, the skewer back. Unfortunately, Pudge not there. One of my favorite heroes, but maybe we'll yet to see him. It's always tricky going for the high ground because one misstep, one misplay could make a whole lot of a difference. If the team trusts you, which OG is known for, they are ready to back up the teammates. They go inside the base, results in 4, even a full team wipe.
So exactly the same two openers from both teams, which means they're confident in how the game went along and how they're going to approach it. OG just seems like they're going to tweak a couple of things in the overall macro of the game.
Like what? What would you tweak here in the last draft?
So I think laning went really bad for them last game. So maybe just either be more mindful about it or pick stronger laners, especially if you're going to play against a team fight heavy lineup, right? But the thing is what we highlighted before, you just have to be conscious of this hero's ability to turn the game around when you're in his base. And that's something you kind of forget about if you don't play against a new style of a hero as often, but eventually it does sink into the player's mind.
Do you feel like the last game that, the lanes did not go as well as they expected, but the Darkseer Clockwork, right, NP usually considered pretty solid laners?
Yeah, they have got the job done. These two heroes, Seb was staying at the top of the network, so I think they should be pretty okay with what they've managed to accomplish. But to go back to the previous game with Nature's Prophet, I believe he bought him the bottle, level 1, and also bought a Moonshard later on. So, Sumail asked, or actually, who is it? No-Tail asked how many buffs do you want, and Sumail answers yes, because he just gave him all of them, going for that Solar Crest, buying the Moonshard later on. It's how Dota was played coming into this TI. All the high-level pubs is how can I buff up my carry? And one true carry was Tiny, who doesn't rely on cooldowns, can be active early on. When I say early on, I mean like post 10, 12, 13-minute mark when you get your items, when you get the Echo Saber plus Shadow Blade, because you do not want to be as active. You max out your 3-grab, of course, which means that you don't have your combo ready and you're playing for a bit of a later timing.
And if you'll notice something OG tweaked, which is just talking about changing little things here and there, is they banned out the Ember Spirit. So this hero was so potent in the early game last game, in that he rotated so well with the combination of something like Lion, right? And he just got so many kills on side lanes. They were, I think, 14 and 3 at kills, when that's actually not what we expected or predicted on panel. So they put respect on a hero like Ember, who can run into them early and feed off of something like a 5 Nature's Prophet.
So, what are other heroes that can fulfill that role of the Ember Spirit in the mid lane?
Well, typically the other spirit heroes, something like Puck as well, could be really good, and it's a Toronto Tokyo specialty.
That is a Toronto specialty. Do you think we could see his Invoker coming into play as well?
We could. We could see Invoker from OG as well, because it's a very good hero. When Winter Wyvern uses his heal, then you have a pretty good setup for the combo. It's a great way to counter-initiate against Magnus RP. Even the Skewer back and also Lion does not like to play into it.
Yep.
So they do pick up Lion again on Team Spirit, so same exact draft, but I suppose we can talk about individual heroes a little bit more
just repeat what you
now.
said the last time.
Yeah, or just talk about Lion and what he offers. Lion in a draft is really nice, just because he kind of fills the role of hard lockdown on your team, but also it stops the possibility, or it lessens the threat of something like a Storm Spirit or a Void Spirit, right? You don't have to be so concerned about it if you can snag it early in your draft.
Oracle Lacoste, you predicted the Invoker.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and I like the Night Stalker as a response to the previous game. Like they had more of like combo that's playing well during the laning stage and then transitions that into the mid game. This time around, Night Stalker, he completely ruins both Wyvern and Lion. Coming into this tournament, I thought Night Stalker is going to be picked. I might be a bit biased here because I'm a huge fan of the hero. I thought he's just going to be picked every single time.
No, I agree. I thought we'd see the Night Stalker a lot more, and the few times that we did see him, he did his job well. And not only does he make it hard for Lion and Wyvern, because Night Stalker is excellent at controlling these squishy supports in the back line, he can also potentially ruin this Magnus's game, because he pops his ulti, he's got this insane vision. He can see the Magnus setting up for something and just blink silence him, right? He's the type of hero is so disruptive.
Does this hero fit the OG playstyle as well, of creating chaos?
It does, for sure. The laning phase isn't ideal, but he can do so much for his team in this game.
And there's the Spirit hero that you were talking about, Effie. Will Void Spirit be very similar to last game, where he fulfills the role of just the ganker whenever there's no cooldowns?
For sure. I mean, if Ember Spirit's banned, this is the next best thing, because, yeah, sure, you can also go for Storm Spirit, but he's a lot easier to deal with than something like a Void or an Ember, just because he's so easily counterable, right? So we'll see Void filling the role of Ember, not as effectively, because we've seen Ember completely pop off just due to how OP his shard and his ability to like buy BKB with something like a Magnus and just be so effective with only one item.
I like how Spirit players, when I say Spirit, Void Spirit and Ember Spirit players decided to go for the shards early on. It's extra 200 damage on a Void Spirit, allows you to get extra ring, which means that you can close the gap or get out of much easier, and also if the game drags out, you get that level 25 talent, the 2-second dissimulate stun. It's insane amount of damage. Also combine that with his level 20 talent, 14% damage amplification. Makes a lot of sense that people are not just waiting for shard to drop from second Roshan, instead just buying it.
For sure, and I think the strongest Void Spirit build is actually just going for Kaya Sanj, then Ags, and then Shard. That just seems really potent. But a nice thing about having a Void Spirit is he's a natural Yule's buyer. Like when you buy Yule's on Ember, it can be good, but it doesn't feel as good as having it on Void Spirit because it's the setup for his Remnant, right? And it gives him mana, which into his main stat and regen, obviously. But the reason why I bring up Yule's is because when you're playing Night Stalker, this is an item that you need to have against him. You have to Yule's him so your poor little supports can run away. And Magnus isn't going to build it, Wyvern isn't going to build it, and Lion isn't. So Void has a nice little thing he can do for his team here.
Okay. So for the last picks, what pick would you like to see, or what style of pick would you like to see for OG? What are they lacking here, Lacoste?
If it wasn't OG, I would say that Bane would fit pretty nicely, where you can play like position 4 Bane, but knowing OG, they're probably going to go for something more like strength-oriented, team fight-oriented, yeah, and they pick the Earthshaker in the end, so most likely they're going to stick with the roles. Nature's Prophet 5, Tiny position 1, Earthshaker 4, and Night Stalker 3. You want to give this hero farm priority.
And what OG did lack last game was team fight. They didn't have some kind of blink stun. They just had the clockwork, which can function similarly, but not without being able to counter-initiate the same way that an Earthshaker does. So this rounds out a little bit better. The lanes are just not very strong, unfortunately.
One reason why maybe they decided to go for Earthshaker is to stop the skewer horn toss type of a play, where you use a Fisher from long range to stop that kind of a play, and also Invoker makes a lot of sense with the Tornado. Go ahead, Effie.
Just Echo Slime is a very effective tool in catching Void Spirit, because when you play against Spirit heroes, you need some kind of instant disable to catch them out, and they don't really have that outside of the Blink Night Stalker silence, or the toss.
I want to break my role for a second because this is too exciting. For those people who have not watched Team Spirit all season, Team Spirit was the team that innovated the new way of playing Lifestealer, abusing the Infest with a low HP target and trying to like bait out fights as opposed to using the old Infest bomb. This was the only team I saw actually with success in Lifestealer during this DPC. So this is extremely exciting. If there's a team that you want to see Lifestealer on, it is Team Spirit. But now I want to move it to you, Lacoste, and tell me, what's the strength of this hero in this lineup?
They have no abilities that go through magic immunity, so that's going to be good. You also have a way of saving him with the Vibrant to split up the fight, so looking like a really good Lifestealer game. What OG needs to do is, like, once your rage is down, it's going to become much easier because OG has so much burst potential coming up from Tiny. He doesn't like to play into Night Stalker. If Night Stalker gets the good jump once we're talking about Blink Dagger timing, so that's going to take 25-30 minutes. Overall, looks like a good Lifestealer game. I'm going to have to side with the OG one more time.
Okay. Effie?
I will believe in my Void Spirit. I think this Lifestealer is going to have a nice time on the lane, and I think that if Toronto Tokyo manages to carry the early game similarly to what he did last game, we could see.
They did a switcheroo. Night Stalker's going to be played by Saksa.
Yeah.
So
we're going to see a similar thing.
actually, I want to elaborate on that, right? Because it's always, okay, pick the winner. I don't care about that. I want to see what the game plan is for Team Spirit. If you believe in them, what is the win condition here?
So you're just going to have Toronto Tokyo playing and trying to kill the sidelines with his supports, similar to last game. You're going to have Collapse empowering Itaro and Lifestealer, and they're just going to look for the same openings, the same plays, and try to outplay in the team fights. Whereas OG have a more run-at-you style. They want to overwhelm them early on, and they do have the security of having Seb on a Blink Initiator this time. So it's going to be a lot easier to take these fights.
Well, the game is about to begin, and that means that we're going to be passing, to our wonderful casters. It's going to be Trent and Lyrical. Take it away, boys.
Thank you so much. Although, yes, we're here. We're on the main stage again for game number 2. OG backs up against the wall. They've been in this situation before, although usually not before the grand finals.
True. Fair point, fair point. Yes, this is a rather early elimination match here for OG. And Sumail, he wants some help here, asking for the crowd's applause.
We'll have to see how this one goes for them. But yeah, the switch up that we're seeing there right at the end, they decide not to go for the position for Earthshaker and instead taking Saksa. And right off the bat, Thompson in some trouble, found, and they give the kill to the man, Toronto Tokyo, that's going to be laning against him. What a start for Team Spirit.
Yeah, some further momentum here, and even a decent obs ward here down from OG, so perhaps feeling a little bit safe in that area. And look, they're going to find it collapse.
30 seconds to battle.
They know.
They definitely seem aware. And immediately get it.
Must have been that obs on the high ground there before we came in, probably spotted it out.
Right.
Got them an idea that was happening. So yeah, the panel mentioned at the end there, a little bit of a mix-up here. We're going to have the position for Night Stalker, something that used to be far more common with the previous Aghanim Scepter, where you could essentially get this massive amount of vision for the team, but since that removal, we've seen it not really as often. It's definitely more of just like for the sake of the draft and a flex pick, I would say. I feel like the lane could be rough here. Well, even the start of this game is a little bit rough here for Saksa.
Yadoro chases him down, and with that Arctic Burn slow, forcing back that Night Stalker as he did not start with boots. So off to a hot start for Team Spirit as they are looking to go one game away from moving on, placing much higher in this tournament than potentially a lot of people were expecting from them, and OG certainly on the back foot here. But they're on comfort heroes, a Thompson Invoker, Seb Earthshaker.
They like to be a little
again.
underrated too, you know. So
that's true.
that could also help them here, being down 1 game. They're going to be looking for some early damage in this top lane. Seb starting out with the Enchant Totem. Don't have the benefits of the Aftershock, but he's trying to get as much harass on Yatoro as he can. Trying to start burning through this regen, but there's a lot of regen up here. There are 6 tangos, a salve. Yataro's got himself a couple tangos and a Fairy Fire too. Already starting out with the stick, which is awesome versus the core shaker, by the way.
You love to see that. It's going to be so much regen consistently given there. And of course, similar situation coming from that Invoker who doesn't end up getting one of those denied. Always frustrating to play against these Quelling Blade heroes. Although we'll get out that Cold Snap, get some good pressure on, pulls back in a little bit, but with the creep wave already passed and next to the tower, won't be any extra harassment there.
Yeah, Lyrical, this isn't a spirit hero.
Yeah.
What is this strange juggler of orbs? The Invoker here, ladies and gentlemen. So, Quas Wax Invoker, by far the most common one that you're going to see these days. Likes to get around early on the map with an urn, try and set up some plays. But I would say, largely, at least in my experience of the Invokers at TI so far, falling a little flat on the early rotations, and it feels like they don't actually come online until they really get into that big Aghanim Scepter. Now, with the Philosophy of OG, though, I'm kind of expecting this is almost just like an Alacrity hero right now.
Yes. Given more and more, if possible, to that Tiny Sumail and pullback. I'm a little bit shocked, I'm going to be honest, that they gave this to Collapse as Mira finds that kill onto No-Tail and
nice
finding
work
another
there.
one on the opposite side. 3 quick ones for Team Spirit.
Thank you, production, catching both of those at the same time. Very nice stuff here coming out. So again, yeah, I mean, this was similar to last game. The kills were definitely in favor of Team Spirit, but the economy kept moving forward for OG. But we mentioned that OG, they felt like they kind of stalled out a little in that mid-game. Despite having the heroes that seemed like all they wanted to do was to fight and to kill, but they pushed out the creep waves and they couldn't actually secure those further objectives, particularly the tier 2 line. Tier 2 mid and tier 2 top stood for far too long and really seemed to be the point in which the game became a serious problem for OG. So we'll see if they try and get a little bit more aggressive this game, see if they can combat that, and once they hit those first round of items all around, just start getting a little wild.
Well, for now at least, it has been a very interesting one. What I was going to mention a second ago is I just can't believe that they gave Collapse Magnus again. A lot of confidence being exuded by OG here to give it back after the performance that he had. And you know, think about that last game. He was making those horn toss plays into the skewer back, into like a Yule Scepter, right?
Yeah.
Without a BKB or any of those things. He just made it work and had definitely the standout performance I've seen from him so far.
Well, he's definitely still feeling it down in that bottom lane. He's spraying the Seb down. He's throwing out No-Tail's voice line whenever No-Tail comes around him. So surely in a good mood after a game like that.
Can they pull it together for the second one, though? It's the big question here. Sumail so far on the Tiny 19-4 versus the 10-3. And then, of course, we saw Mira getting a good couple of last hits there as well on the line.
Yes.
Zack by the Nature's Prophet. And just quickly up top, it happens.
What do you expect, you know? Your Night Stalker and Shaker into a Wyvern and a Lifestealer. Doesn't feel like this is going to go very well for you. I'm sure they're aware of that. Not able to really get any big pull plays either, you know? Maybe that's going to start happening here soon with the boost being available on Soxa. Soxa just sitting in a well like, do I have to?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go mid.
He comes on back there. And that's just to, I guess, pick up the Bounty Rune instead. So goes to get that one. Obviously no bottle refill on Thompson. And then we'll try rotating around a bit, make something else happen.
Of course, No-Tail happy about that. Didn't have to buy the bottle, as thank you to our lovely brainstormers at home who told us that he also bought the bottle, which explains why he was so broke in that bottom lane, like literally just regens. So Invoker, not really a bottle hero all too often anymore. So No-Tail can start with the Blightstone and a Magic Stick this time on that Nature's Prophet.
Seb gonna chase back Maposhka a little bit, but hard for him to walk into the creep wave. Look at this, every time he makes that move, he's zoned back by Maposhka. This Winter Wyvern has been really rising in terms of the proficiency that we've seen from a lot of different players, but complete free farm.
Our Night Stalker did go and grab the wave, right?
Yes.
Success, use the boots, brings it back to Seb, and this is the kind of plays they're trying to do to salvage this lane.
0-4 start. Collapse keeps on just spamming out the lanes. No-Tail gonna give as good as he gets.
I find that line from Ava works a lot better once you've actually gotten a kill in the game. It's not as good with the giant goose egg sitting up there next to your hero portraits.
No, you're not wrong, man. They get the tornado into the EMP afterwards and a nice silence rotation. This is that power of that Night Stalker, but is it enough? I don't think so. They do burn through all of Toronto Tokyo's mana and will give a lane a little bit of a better time for this Invoker.
Yeah, Thompson doing great here. Ahead of the Void Spirit.
Obviously,
very happy here.
one of the heroes that he's most comfortable on sort of came into prominence on.
Are you suggesting I can get a Meteor Hammer? Is that no, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
That's
We might be a little bit far
2018.
past that, guys.
So 6 minutes in, They're going to summon some more trees and focus back Collapse a bit more there. And you can see that taking over in the mid lane, at least for the moment, is going to be as they go on Collapse and Mira. There's nothing here.
This is such a
And the thing about it,
bad Night Stalker game, dude. Like,
right. The thing about it too is that you're giving so much space from Aposhka to start soaking up levels mid, right? This Winter Wyvern is kind of been left alone, and now you're also walking back home for Toronto Tokyo. So they'll have a pretty farmed Wyvern most likely. Pretty 4.5.
Yeah, if he can actually get there. It looks like Thompson is just holding the line.
Yeah.
Saying, no free XP. Get out of here.
So, still steady, slow beat down.
I mean, the best part is that there's no Wyvern up top right now, so Seb feels like he can actually play a little bit more in the wave, right? Looks like 1-2-2 build, actually has some decent tools now. Yadro sitting on 10 charges as well, so Seb is free to just cast some spells. Sox is coming back, but it is level 6 on Yadro, so this is a tough kill. No matter how you slice it.
Gets the rage off. Quick fingers. Knew that he was coming. Lifestealer not going to be punished there at all. Already has the Helm of Iron Will too, as well as the chainmail, so sitting on 16 armor.
Yeah.
Thompson getting body blocked. Poshka.
They tried to set up on him, but Thompson hit a 2-hero tornado as well, so was able to start backing away, and then even with the jump through of the Astral Step, couldn't get the finish.
So not an easy one at all. The damage that you have right now from OG, it feels like these heroes don't really do that much, right? Like the supports don't have that much damage until Nature's Prophet gets level 6. Invoker's kind of just running unlimited bits as well. It's really all in Sumail, who has to obviously keep farming since he's position
Mid lane,
1.
dropping low here. The silence comes in. Toronto Tokyo able to jump, get sprouted.
Dissimulate, gets that little damage buff.
Yeah.
Able to back away from it. But Poshka, in the meantime, has a DD. The Remnant used out. They're actually able to get the bottle refill off that.
Nice defense right there. And now Mira coming in.
Has to be careful. Jump through 1-to-1 with this DD. Toronto Tokyo wants to go to work. Will he be able to get out of there? Dissimulate. Jumped into both. What? He turned onto them instead. They thought they were saving Soxa, but they were just dying themselves.
Oh, and they can't believe it. Collapse happily cheering on his allies from the off lane there. It's 6-0 as the supports contributing early here from Team Spirit. Mira and Poshka, a great series so far. And the greed.
Dude, Toronto Tokyo is not one to mess with. This man came here to play on this day.
I mean, he must have been really low there, like 400 HP or something.
Yeah.
Just got blown up, sticking around too long.
7-0 start. This young team, Eastern European, making the most of it. They're going to sneak away that bounty rune. And has the jump away, maybe. Ooh, low on mana. Dissimulate. Has to be careful. Maposhka nearby. They're bringing everybody the echo out, but the cold embrace keeps him alive. The silence afterwards. Toronto Tokyo trying to live, but won't be able to. They bring 4, but that's worth it.
That's 7-1, but still only a 1,000 gold lead right now for Team Spirit. Sure, it's still early, but you look at those last hits, and Sumail just towering above there. It's 70 right now, and a lot of those just straight up in the lane. Having a fabulous start. At the very least, did lose a courier, so that's going to slow down his acceleration for a bit.
And in the meantime, you can see Mira being chased away by these Trans. Poshka also in the area, able to sidestep that Tornado EMP combo. And also during this time, we saw the Night Stalker head on over to the Dire Ancients and place away down one of those sentry wards. So it's going to be blocked out continuously. But back towards mid again. The taunt. Soxa silence wearing low. And Toronto Tokyo not able to find any extra follow-up there. But yeah, Sumail's just been AFK farming, hitting a heck of a lot of creeps. As we see Collapse also getting closer to that mech now.
Nothing phasing Sumail. Allies coming through, enemies, and I'm going to hit some creeps right now. So that part of the mission for OG certainly going well as this lead again just tapers off to pretty much nothing for Team Spirit gold-wise, but surely the comms are feeling really nice for Team Spirit right now. Up 7-1, you know? Just won game 1. Collapse has just been chilling on that off lane.
Yeah.
Getting relative, you know, free farm for a Magnus at least. Sometimes you can have a rough time in the lanes, and now has his friends back here supporting him from the tree line.
Pulls in, RP connect, Finger of Death done.
That's a stack.
Mira gets the kill, and you can see that even though you have all these last hits onto Sumail, as far as net worth is concerned, they're starting to catch up on the rest of these cores and hopefully get into those first items for Team Spirit. RP down, smoke up, walk for Sumail, stunned right at the start with Yadaro there. He gets the rage off, looking for the chase down. Collapse able to back out and get away.
They still have Curse here.
Oh, have to be careful. Toronto Tokyo showing up. They're going to use the Winner's Curse just to set everything up. The pullback with the Aether Remnant, but the walk forward. Have they bitten off more than they can chew? On the side of Team Spirit, looking for the rundown. The fissure connects onto both of them. The jump through Sumail down solo. Mira, one more hit. It's not enough. They chase him, looking for a follow-up. Saksa onto Toronto Tokyo. Another cold embrace. They don't have much left in the tank at all. Echo is out afterwards. The Yule Scepter into Collapse then. Toronto Tokyo tries to get out. But do they have anything else left in the tank? Now infesting over to the side. Seb makes the kill happen. Mapochka getting ran down. The Lifestealer infested in and looked for a kill but couldn't find it.
They spent so much trying to bring down Sumail. I can't believe he's actually still around here, not able to get all the way home yet.
Mapochka, cold embrace, now the turn onto Thompson, wanting to finish him off. Run bit by bit with this armlet getting active. It's Tornado, the last second Mira needs to find the kill.
Mira, no.
Just off the skin of his teeth, he gets out of there. And Thompson tries to run, but Collapse moving in from downtown. Can he find the angle? Does he get lucky with it? They can try and chase this, but instead spots Saksa. Yadaro, the run through, shows himself, and there's going to be the eventual finish. Just mayhem in the bottom lane.
Well, there's a lot to break down there, and where do we even begin? I mean, the initial attempts onto Sumail obviously failing. They spent so much, and I think Team Spirit probably just fortunate not to lose even more, considering how many of their resources they burned there. And oh yeah, we got ourselves a. You know, and also, oh man, Mira at the end there, when Invoker's running up the stairs and he didn't go for the spike because he wanted to give the kill over, and he was holding it. It was sitting there, and then he tried it long range and he missed. You're gonna regret that one a little bit, I'm sure.
That's painful. A Sunstrike came in there, comboed together with the Nature's Wrath, and a quick pick on to the Lion. Keeping vision with those treants that whole time as well. But still less than 1,000 gold separating these two teams. And the fact that they were able to keep Yadaro alive and has now the Empower going to finish through these Ancients. Mapochka?
Oh, Mima on top, yep.
Jumped on. Fissure, Chant Totem, gonna fall. Winter's Curse, maybe a chance. Oh, the Sunstrike caught him right at the end. Well played by Thompson.
Eliminating any chance of escape there. They go right back to the tower and take that down. Thompson is pushing out this bottom wave, though. Any chance for a catch? Would be a tough one. Infest first. Oh, nicely done.
Now tries to move in there. And a couple more punches fingered. That Thompson tries to get out with a rage. Will be enough. So I am... Oh, wait a minute. Are they going for more now? Toronto Tokyo with the Haster and Tempt and Fate.
Yeah, he's under a ward right now, so has to be careful. Seb very willing to drop an Echo on him, I'm sure.
Non-stop action, 16 kills, 14 minutes.
The treant's actually bringing a wave over to Seb.
Yeah.
You know, in case he wants some farm here, that's nice. No-Tail always helping out his allies.
That Blink Dagger being done really opens up Seb's game, but obviously the Force Staff would make it that much better. The defensive abilities against that Lifestealer needs to stay up close and send personal. The damage. And Collapse in the meantime, with the mechanism done, gives them some more of this team fight potential, but also wanting to finish off that Blink Dagger.
Yeah, and you saw how scrappy that fight was, right? But now, you look what we got from Thompson. He's gone for that Rod of Atos and the potential Gleipnir later on. So not needing that urn to like just try and go for the cold snap plays, really wants to ensure that you don't have the big playmaking potential. He wants to put some pressure on the itemization of Collapse to actually find that BKB or maybe a Dispel of some sort, right?
Right.
You don't want to give him that same freedom that he just had last game.
It is interesting, though, because it feels like as, well, the Atos comes out, this isn't bad here. Tries to get him in. The mech, though, keeps him alive, and with Maposhka nearby, they really don't have an opening.
Yeah, and the Arctic Burn onto Seb, preventing the blink.
Round 2, looking for it. Seb, he has a big one. The Echo comes out, catches on to both, but the Hex is there to turn it in the Winter Skirts. Skewers them both together, tries to find it. RP, and now, do they have enough with the Empower? The big amount of damage coming out onto Seb. It was looking good for a moment, but in the end, it wasn't enough. Do they have anything else left in the tank? The chase down, another great impale onto Sumail, catching him now. They get the Sprout, but they've got him caught in there with them. Yadaro chases, right clicks, dead, done. OG, where you at?
Almost got no tail there at the end too, but much like game 1, it's these early plays into tier 1 tower that end up felling a couple OG heroes. They did get the tower in the end thanks to the trusty catapult.
But no, Lifestealer got the deny on it last second.
True.
Well played. And now?
Oh, Thompson.
Going for more. Seb, gotta be careful there. Looking down south. Tried to find an opening there on the no-tail, and they'll get him. Maposhka ends up going down. Again, this absolute chaos there. Mira misses the stun. Seb jumps forward, gets the kill. Team Spirit, gotta be careful with this movement now. Soxa wants to chase this. Another great fissure there, gonna connect the Atos afterwards, but the Yule Scepter keeps him alive for the moment. Seb tries to hit the timing, but it's not quite there. And now with the Lifestealer back in front, he finds the kill on a no-tail, and then TP's out right in front of him.
No tools through that one here, of course, if you don't get that initial silence off, especially, right? Like, that's one thing he has to watch for sure versus the Night Stalker. Just make sure he doesn't miss out on that Rage TP, but nice play there. Yadar will finish out that SNY2, so ready to continue the battling and doesn't have to worry as much about scaling better into the late game thanks to the Empower on his squad. And now, well, Magnus, he's feeling personally empowered here with that Blink Dagger.
And you're now starting to see a situation too with why this position for Night Stalker has kind of fallen out of favor, right? Like, you don't have a great farming mechanism, but he needs to get into that Blink Dagger and just doesn't have the gold. Eighth Remnant gonna connect, and when you're out farming that far forward, you can get punished.
I do think he plays the... Oh, well.
Atos, Winter's Curse, turns it around now. Thompson out in no man's land and gets punished as well. Team Spirit constantly right on top of the ball.
You know, the second half of that last game, we had to talk about collapse a lot, but I will say, I do think that Lion is a fantastic hero versus OG in the way they like to play, right? They love these tricky little plays. They love to tease, to taunt, and to sort of break you with the outscale, but it's really hard to outskill Hex Earth Spike.
Yeah.
You know, you get a little cheeky, a little bit fresh, and then one single stun, you're getting chained all the way to death.
Well, and I think that there's something too about like that horn toss into Earth Spike, right? It allows you to find kills without using RP that you otherwise would have to use that big ultimate for, and then you can save that for the big fights instead. It's just so strong if you can have, you know, a combo that play together as well as Collapse and Mira have been.
Yeah, for sure. And Mira, of course, last game putting a lot of emphasis on getting that Blink Dagger despite being a little bit behind with the map pressure. Mira, again here, just farming up neutrals. Gonna get that Blink Dagger at a pretty decent time, especially with that mid wave coming in through here too. I imagine they'll probably try and offer that over to him. And OG sort of falling into a similar playstyle as last game where things are just trying to be stacked on Sumail, but this game he's just not nearly at the same pace.
It really feels like there's a, you know, they have to play a little bit more passively, at least until these items come online. And Team Spirit, they're not going to give him that opportunity. They're keeping this pressure on. Smoke up. OG, do they realize what's coming? They're actually going to open up on the Yadaro, but the rest of the team coming in time to try and save their carry. Is it going to be quick enough, though? They jump in! Oh, the RP! But he already died! And now the Winter's Curse afterwards. Sox in some trouble. Toronto, Tokyo, and they are all in pretty deep at this point. If they can maybe find a couple quick kills, it could be good. Thompson, down low, dead. Rooted afterwards. Maposhka, Mira, right on top of Sumail. Jump forward, Seb, trying to save this. He's done it so many times to them before, but can they do it again? Sumail walking away ever so slowly, bit by bit, trying to escape, but Mira, he won't let him go. The jump forward, this Lion, and Collapse, doing absolutely everything for Team Spirit here. As 4 go down, Seb tries to get away, but will it end up happening? No. The Yule Scepter lift up into the Remnant. Toronto, Tokyo having a coming out party, absolutely owning on this Void Spirit.
Sounds good to say and looks good to watch. Toronto, Tokyo, easy game. Is that a voice line? I don't think that was a voice line.
Wait, what? Oh my God! Observer, press enter and go up. This man just dropped it right in front of him on the main stage of TI, an elimination match. Talk about
He's feeling
a hell
it.
of a moment.
Oh, this will be that turning point video if they lose this game, I'll tell you that much. Because
Oh my God.
you know, you don't want to give any incentive to OG, but a great start to that fight, dude. That entire fight was without Yadaro because they got the silence right away. And I want to say that Sox, like, it's a very tough game for this position for a Night Stalker. He's doing a fantastic job of playing really well with the ulti because that's his only tool, right? He has to fly in there. He has to get that silence. He's providing the vision for these full team fights. And despite the fight starting so well, they still lose, like, almost everyone.
It's unbelievable. Team Spirit coming in. This team, they were started in the group stages 0-4 and then proceeded to just not lose that many games. They've been winning everything, and you can see here as we continue on.
Almost
Toronto,
everyone,
Tokyo.
I mean everyone, as you can obviously see from
There
the top
it
of the
is.
screen. Replays exposing. Gleipnir now done. That's like, did you just do that? Did you just type that in there? Oh my.
That was the moment for the Kyle chat wheel. You talking to me? You talking to me? Didn't do it. Didn't hear it.
True, after all that. Well, the chat wheels file a little silent sometimes.
Still less than 1,000 gold leads separating these two teams, 10-22. And Team Spirit, the ones in command.
Toronto, Tokyo
but OG
jumping in.
certainly
on
not
the
out of
Thompson.
it. Walks in, finds Thompson. Seb tries to salvage it. 4-step out, not enough. Now looking towards No Tail. They're going to pull in this Nature's Prophet. Just running them ragged on OG. Team Spirit won't be denied.
They're just making these picks look so easy. 100-0. They're falling. And that Soxa, this is with the ulti. He's under the obs, though.
Another round of it. They just keep dying, one after the other. Team Spirit claiming those kills.
And Toronto, Tokyo moving under an obs here from Seb. I don't think he's going to try and go for anything too crazy. Knows that this Void Spirit's there, but some quick math, 2,000 damage, level 14 Shaker. Maybe with the Prophet, he's got a chance with the Invoker here, too. I think they're going to try it. Let's see. And we'll see what's said here, of course.
Looking to try and get something. And Toronto, Tokyo, recognizing the danger, backs off. He knew. And in the meantime, you look at this. Team Spirit going to try and claim the Aegis.
Oh, the instant, the Sunstrike, and then the TB right away from Thompson. He wants to be here. Doesn't want this one going for free. Tornado now.
Starting the fight off. Obviously has the rage afterwards, but Roche down. Aegis claimed.
Not lucky
dropping
enough
low.
to get the damage there from the meatball either.
Right.
Yeah, maybe just hoping he could force a snatch.
Team Spirit going to smoke.
Try and get the bounty for OG.
Fested Lifestealer inside Collapse. Doesn't have the shard yet.
Oh, and Collapse this time too, eh? Yeah, Toronto, Tokyo, of course, setting up for the easy one last time onto Thompson.
Follow the couriers. They're going to take you to the heroes.
Oh, I love that.
Right on down the way. No Tail is there, but they jump and find the back line. Able to catch onto Sumail. That's a pretty good target. Hex afterwards. Yadaro eaten up this Tiny as Sumail eventually falls.
Oh, and they were so close to just running into No Tail too. That could have been so much better for OG if he was the one to fall, but grabbing the King instead. He has fallen and now collapsed. Well, they might just find No Tail anyway.
Even going to drop the
This
RP
is from
for
the
him.
laning stage. This is from all the voice lines and the sprays.
Stay together.
Team Spirit putting on a performance here. Showing everything. And did he find him again? Collapse runs into
Your
Seb.
screen. Seb.
What? Just like that. They find themselves, Seb, trying to give him a high five. And find the kill again.
I think he was changing his chat wheel binds. He got caught in the trees there. Snagged by Team Spirit, just finding everything right now. And now able to pressure with this Aegis. Still 3.5 minutes left. 4 staff, 4 collapse. Now we just gotta wait for that shard to come out and he'll be back in full force once more here.
Look at this. I mean, this is the thing. You know, you start the laning stage off even, but kill after kill after kill, and off the back of Collapse, this mag that OG gave to them in game number 2, they felt like they had an answer, and so far it hasn't looked like it.
All right, there are no doubt incredible tools in these team fights for both teams, though. We have a total of 5 Blink Daggers on the map now.
Yes.
So everyone's, lots of opportunities to make your play here from both squads. Most importantly, Soxa, I think, able to be more valuable in these team fights by trying to get that silence and getting right on top of Yadaro.
This could be incredibly important for them. And they need Sumail there too. Like they really don't have the damage otherwise.
Yeah, and I mean there is the Force Staff as well from Collapse, as we mentioned. So that's a great counter to Soxa, just because he just needs that little smidge of I'm not silenced, right? For Yadaro, and he can get the rage off.
Gonna walk in. It can start heading down bottom to pressure this tier 2 tower.
I love the use of this Aegis, just closing in on the map. They're using this gem. They're moving through, looking for every bit of vision, every sentry, every obs. Just taking them down one by one. Team Spirit want to take away the map from OG. But you gotta imagine they're feeling I would think a little nervous, starting to shake a little. Like it feels like you're doing so well, right? This is OG elimination.
That's true. Do you start to feel the nerves? Do you start to feel the wind come in their direction? Can they keep up the momentum?
You question yourself more when you're winning. Right. When you're losing, you're looking for solutions because you have a problem. You see the issue. In a game like this, like you're ahead and you're just trying to keep that momentum going forward. You're scared a little bit sometimes in terms of like what can they do to come back.
All right, and we've seen OG come back from bigger deficits than this before, even in the grand finals. They've got heroes that can make the plays. Will it happen though? Looks for the silence, not gonna get him. Toronto Tokyo playing that one safe, and down bottom, they got a lifestealer that OG need to deal with. Throws out that tornado, gets the lift up, the pullback. Skewer, catch, Thompson in trouble. On the other side, they're also battling it out with Seb. The chase is there, and Thompson going to fall. Mirror jumps in, gets the finger of death finish. Collapse off to the side. Maposhka not going to be found. They get the skewer, or rather the shockwave, into the kill. And they force out that buyback. No-Till's going to pressure top.
Yeah, he's got no other choice. Just going up there. Gonna perhaps send in some treants here.
Fissure, the only thing that can slow down this lifestealer right now. Will get hit by that tornado now afterwards. But again, that pressure, it's going to be mounted top. We've seen this before where Nature's Prophet can force back heroes, but will they happen now?
They're so weak in comparison though right now. Like
it's true.
He's got the solo cracks, he's got a couple of the big ones, but I mean there's Yadaro just hitting her base. 30 seconds still left here.
Yeah, and they still have Glyph available on Team Spirit if they need to use it. Yadaro hits it, range racks down, takes the first, backs away with the team.
Dire's structures are fortified.
God, what a match. What a series. Team Spirit came out here punching the champs in the mouth.
I will say he got more damage down than I expected.
Yeah.
He's sending them back in and no one's TPing. They don't want to break the formation. So they're just going to sack the tier 3. Now tier 3 is not as valuable as they used to be, but look, the fight's happening. This is why they don't want to break it up.
Catch is there. Stun afterwards. Pull back in. Dead. Done. Looking for more.
He blinked in.
Collapse. This guy's a little bit crazy. Tops and Sumail looking for an opening there. They spot one. Avalanche walk forward. Mech, but the save is out. And now Sumail BKB'd. It's going to wear off soon. Has to back out of there as Yadaro chases the winner's curse. It's going to connect. And afterwards, Soxa, he just has to disrupt it, but no, he can't get there in time. The jump in. Zap tries to salvage it. Isn't enough. The Evil Scepter lift up. Mira goes down, but they pull him back in for more. Yadaro too strong on this lifestealer. 3 dead, no buyback. Is this going to be the end for OG? As Soxa also to fall. Everybody's gone. And look at this Team Spirit going in for more. Oh, Yadaro, you tempted fate. You thinking about going into the fountain? They regain some focus, but with no buybacks, can they just try and end it?
It's tempting. There's tier 2s in the other lanes.
Could this be the downfall? Team Spirit, they can sense an end right now. A chance to move forward, get top 6 in this tournament, and you've got 25 seconds with no Sumail.
They're not hesitating.
Trying to end this one. Team Spirit looking to go all together. There are racks that are being taken up on the top side of the map, but they've got their eyes on the prize. They want this agent, the Sprout, to walk inside of it. Oh my God, he's just going for the spider legs through. They get the vision. Oh gee, there's nobody left alive. It's only No-Till. There's nothing left, and GG is called. Team Spirit end the game, taking down OG. What a Cinderella story here on the main stage.
Absolutely incredible Team Spirit. And look at them, they're cold. There's cold stone in there. They just knocked out the champs.
Unreal. from going 0-4 at the beginning of groups to now getting top 6 for this young squad. What a magical journey for them. And OG, it just wasn't meant to be this year.
And it's just early, of course, for Team Spirit. It's important that they're not getting too excited because they still got games later today.
You're not wrong.
Staying alive here in that lower bracket. Going to be facing off later this evening as well. And I'm sure a lot of people probably didn't expect them to be there.
No, absolutely. I mean, this is the thing, right? Like, you play now, and you've got Eastern Europe playing Eastern Europe in the next round for a potential top 4 finish at the very least. And Team Spirit, an incredibly impressive performance, coming in as one of the dark horses in this tournament. They made it work here in this game number 2, and like you said, absolutely stone cold walking out of the booth. Toronto Tokyo throwing out that easy game in the midst of it as well. He was one of the standout performances for sure.
Yeah, he really was. And of course, OG, a team that maybe not the highest expectations coming in just because of like how the season works and everything, but everyone knows that they're a threat. Yeah. There's no doubt, right? You know how they can perform in pretty much any situation. And with bringing in Sumail, that wasn't going to lower their pedigree whatsoever here. So we will say goodbye to our champions.
And just like that, we'll head on back to the panel.
Well, it's certainly an unusual sight to see OG walking away at such an early stage in this tournament. I'm sure they're going to have a regroup. But my word, Team Spirit. Let us remind you that they have the youngest player at TI in their team in Yatoro. And what a performance he's pulled off. A 19-year-old collapse. Clearly the anchor of this team. This is absolutely phenomenal just to see them come here and to completely defy expectations and to do it against OG Lizard.
It's incredible. Something just clicked after the group stage for this young team full of pub stars, and they're having fun. The game versus OG, it looked like they were just enjoying themselves, all chatting a little bit. But in any case, collapse on that Magnus 2 games in a row, switching up the item build a little bit, but looking insanely strong.
And I don't think it was just him as well. Their whole team played fantastic. I feel like they had a bit of a draft advantage. They had what they wanted to beat OG. Those early skirmishes, even something as simple as a cold embrace, buys them like 2 to 3 seconds of time, which is effective against Earthshaker as well. A big part of his damage is that enchant totem hit. And if it forces them to overdive for that extra 2 seconds, buys them time to turn it around. So I think those early dives and fights from OG were shut down partially because of that Winter Wyvern. It was actually really key to their win.
A very good pickup, right?
Yeah,
it was in PSG LGD as well.
Yeah, I think Winter Wyvern has been sort of like a hidden sleeper pick because I think she was like 90% win rate in groups, so people weren't picking her a lot as well. I think Team Spirit, just how they're ready for OG's moves was really impressive because they're such a young team, but they seem so composed, so calm, so ready to actually take the right fight, take the right engagement. Like, usually when I see OG goes for those wraps on the tier 1 mid, they're overwhelming their opponent. But Team Spirit, they're all there and ready, and they just wiped them.
Well, it seems weird to be saying this right now, but we do have an exit interview with OG, and Avo is on the sidelines with Seb.
I'm going to slide you guys over. I mean, you can ask me the question if you want, but...
No. I can definitely hear that they're on the sidelines together, but I believe that they're actually just getting ready. Again, we're not used to this situation here at TI. Seb's certainly not used to this situation anymore, but I'm sure that interview is going to be well worth the wait. As you guys were saying, an absolute team effort from Spirit. And the draft from OG just wasn't good enough. But that's the strange thing. I thought that the OG, they are the master drafters, and I'm not sure what's going on.
It felt stubborn to me. It was kind of a repeat of the first game draft-wise.
Pretty
Both
much,
teams
yeah.
were like, oh, we're confident with our openers. I would say from the Spirit side, their draft improved a little bit. Their mid player was on a hero that buys a Spirit Vessel. That's a percentage-based damage item, very effective against Tiny. That was one of the things they had trouble with in the first game. So that gave them an even better advantage than they had in the previous one. And who was their other new hero? It was... Don't remember. The carry also percentage-based damage, very good against Tiny. Yep. And so it just felt like they had a better draft against what OG played than the first one, and from my perspective.
And do you also think that Spirit are going, well, we know OG likes to fight, so because we are coming into this situation knowing that, we're just going to practice doing it better?
I really want to be hyping up Spirit for as much as possible. I wasn't impressed with OG's draft in this second game, but they're OG. They always have a plan. Sometimes it doesn't work. This was sadly for them one of those times. We've seen that through the group stages and the main event. The Hoodwink didn't work out on the mid lane. If they do get all the pieces right, they dominate. If they don't, and they have a Night Stalker that's lowest net worth and in position 4, it gets a little bit trickier.
But it seemed like also the focus was off. Like there was one moment when Seb was in the trees, maybe he was shopping, maybe he was checking his map or something. But it was just like it wasn't even a gank, really.
I feel like when your draft is off, sometimes you'll make mistakes because you're trying to figure out how to win the game. Like it's very confusing for OG. Like for me, I think Night Stalker should have been 5, Fearon should have been offlane, and it would have been a lot easier to play the game. But Dota's weird like that. Like you play so many hours into the game, you commit so much of your time into it. The smallest thing being off can make it so that you're not able to play your normal game. Like a lot of pros, they always say, I want to play as if it's a pub because you feel so comfortable. You know what's going to happen. It feels so natural. If you're thrown off, this is sort of what happens.
Is it fair to say that Spirit were playing like a pub?
I mean, no, I don't. I mean, they're playing
I'm not saying you are. It's just that we keep referring to them as pub stars, and they're top 6 of the international. And I just want to, I guess, put some respect on their name, just because when we talk about pub stars, yeah, listen, it's no surprise. I come from Counter-Strike. If we talk about pubbers, we're not necessarily talking in a positive light. So I just want to just double check. Now I've come into your space, that we are giving them the credit that is due.
I would say calling somebody like a pub star is not really as negative in Dota because it's like, that means you're like insanely good. If you're a pub star, you're beating pros in pubs. I think the problem that usually translates is you need a captain, and maybe in this case this is an advantage. You get this experienced captain in Maposhka who can make sure that they're playing the right heroes for the game and that he can kind of like corral them. So still let them play their pub, but also make sure you're checking those boxes for how to compete against other teams that are organizing as a cohesive unit.
So making the most of that raw talent and then making magic on the stage.
Exactly.
Perfect. Well, standing by right now, we do have Avo with Seb, so let's hear some final words from Team OG.
Thank you, Frankie. I am here with Seb. Thank you for your time, Seb. I wanted to ask you just your thoughts on the last game.
I mean, it was a good game, hopefully, for people to watch. I think Team Spirit played a very good game and they deserved the win, and I wish them best of luck further. As for us, I mean, we did a lot of right things in terms of preparing, in terms of keeping a good mood, you know, and fighting as much as we could. I don't think we let the toughness of the game affect us, but definitely the Dota was not good enough to win this game, and I think you have to also accept that. So,
OG always talks about being a family. What does family do in moments like these? How do you recover?
I mean, we are still in family. We always will be through wins and losses. What family does is support each other, of course, for those who need support, and also give each other space. Just, you know, like, be loving and caring. This is a big deal for everyone. It's a big deal to lose, in the sense that so much effort put into it. So yeah, we're there for each other. At the same time, you know, losing is part of competition. We've been on the winning side, and we celebrated that, and we were grateful for that. I think the wins don't taste nearly as good if it wasn't for the losses. And I think that, you know, losing is really rough. It feels really rough. We feel all very down, and but you have to stay strong through these times, and you have to learn, and there's going to be time for that. Everybody needs, you know, have different ways to process everything. What I do want to say is I want to thank everybody that supported us and followed us. What is really special about OG and about OG fans and just the community like around OG is that there is support. We feel the support through, you know, the highs and through the lows. Today is a low, but as I said, there wouldn't be any high without lows. So we appreciate that, and we are very thankful and grateful for the support that we get. And yeah, this is something that's much bigger than a tournament.
Well, you heard it. Celebrate the highs, accept the lows. OG's run at TI10 ends here, but OG will continue to exist, and there are going to be much more highs for this team, right?
Of course, OG will continue to exist. We will see what the future is made of. I want to also give a special props to everybody, like my teammates, everybody around us. I know everybody gave it really their best. They did everything with their hearts and all the, you know, the love and the talent that they're capable of. It wasn't enough today, but it is what it is.
Back to you, Frankie.
Thank you very much, guys. I know it's not easy to talk so openly after a loss, and we do really, really appreciate it. But right now, we need to go to Sumi, who is on the sidelines with a top 6 player here at TI, Miposhka.
Thank you very much, Frankie. I'm here with Miposhka from Team Spirit, who have just won their match. Welcome and congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
My first question for you is, what are your thoughts on being the team that has denied OG the three-peat? They are no longer able to be 3-time champions because of your team. What are your thoughts on that?
I guess I didn't understand exactly. Can you repeat, please?
You eliminated OG from the tournament. How do you feel about that, since they're such a strong team?
Actually, I don't feel like something special. I don't know, like we prepared for them, they are some usual team and who we're gonna meet. So I don't feel anything special, you know, like, so that's it.
You don't feel anything special for eliminating one of the strongest teams?
I guess I can feel only that if we win TI, it's gonna be like legal win, you know.
I like it. They are already looking at the next step and looking at winning TI. So one question that a lot of people have asked is, what's up with Yaturo's hair? What happened?
Actually, I don't know. Like, there was a moment he came and he like, I didn't even hear this, that he said that he want to cut his hair. But listening to my teammates, they told me something like, Ilya want to cut his hair, something like this, and I'm like, what, why he want to do this? I have no idea. So I don't really know why he did it.
So Yaturo's hair is a mystery to all, including his own team. All right, final question. Your next team, the next team that you'll be playing against are Virtus Pro. You have a lot of experience playing with them. Do you have any words for them as their next opponent?
I would say that it's kind of sad that we meet our CIS team in that stage. So I don't know. I think the game is going to be interesting because we played a lot with them, and some series was pretty fast because they playing really aggressive and they know how we usually playing. So I think right now we are playing much better than we usually played, and than we played before the tournament. So I don't really know how it will be, but I think the series will be interesting.
Got it. So they've played each other a lot, but you better watch out because Team Spirit is on their game. Thank you very much.